I want to put a quote up on the screen from Eugene Robinson, and it is about Barack Obama and the obvious and notable triggering effect he has had on the current president. Maybe his Obama obsession is not even tactical, but instead purely personal. Maybe Trump just cannot abide the fact that Obama is a Nobel laureate, respected around the world, while he has had to endure being snickered at by world leaders and portrayed as hapless and ignorant by the fake news media he claims to hate, yet compulsively devours. So, Steve, that's thing one. Here's thing two, Eric Trump from this weekend.
Biden loves this. Biden can't go out on stage without making some horrible blunder. I mean, even from his basement, he's making awful gaffes every single day. So his campaign's thrilled that he's not going out there. And they think they're taking away Donald Trump's greatest tool, which is being able to go into an arena and fill it with 50,000 people every single time, right? So they will, and you watch, they'll milk it every single day between now and November 3rd. And guess what? After November 3rd, coronavirus will magically all of a sudden go away and disappear, and everybody will be able to reopen. They're trying to deprive him of his greatest asset.
So, Steve Schmidt, your reaction to the president's attacks on Obama, who evidently, along with China, they're going to run against. And we might have buried the lead, the medical news from Eric Trump there, that this virus is going to fade away right after Election Day.
Well, let's start with Eric Trump. I think, and I said it this weekend, it may well be the dumbest thing that's ever been said by a presidential offspring. We have 90,000 dead Americans. Soon we'll be over 100,000. We'll be on our way to 200,000 before too much longer. And this kid thinks it's all a hoax to keep his dad from having rallies. It's just deplorable. With regard to the president and President Obama, we saw a scene of American weakness earlier this year where we saw many of our greatest allies. We saw the French president, the Canadian prime minister. We saw the German chancellor. We saw a group of foreign leaders all together laughing about Donald Trump, laughing at the president of the United States. They weren't laughing with him. They were laughing at him. They laugh at him because they view him as a buffoon, a clown. And that didn't happen to President Obama. When President Obama traveled the world, he was a symbol of respect. People around the world did not laugh at Barack Obama the way they do at Donald Trump. And so we have Barack Obama, who serves for 8 years in office. I didn't agree with all of President Obama's agenda, but nobody was indicted in the Obama administration over 8 years. So we had one of the cleanest administrations in history, followed up by one of the most corrupt in history. And we look back now at the Obama era. And I really believe this, Brian. I think it marks the ending of the 75-year-long American era that began with the end of World War II and lasted until Donald Trump's presidency, as till we enter this period now of precipitous national decline. And if you look back to the day where Barack Obama received Donald Trump at the White House on January 20th of 2017 for the transition of power, the place that we are at this hour, one of economic collapse, the epicenter of a global pandemic, the inability of the federal government to get the testing done, to get PPE ordered for frontline healthcare workers. We are at an hour of American weakness that's just simply unimaginable looking back from when Barack Obama was president a few short years ago. And so, I think Donald Trump looks at Barack Obama with a lot of envy, and I think he has a lot of projection. And I think you see that playing out whenever he talks about the former president.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.